Dear reader, listener, this is week 20. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also, if you're beginning this audio version of Taught on week 20, I would advise going back to listen to weeks 1 through 19 and the foreword and prologue. All of these are in order in the playlist and can be accessed on the YouTube channel Taught at Taught 2022. This character's journal will make much more sense if you start at her beginning. Thank you for reading, listening, a teacher. Taught, week 20. Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017, 6 a.m. 2017 feels strange to say. I will surely write 2016 until March. Today's the day. Most people start New Year's resolutions on January 1st. Not me. I go for the 3rd, mainly because it takes me those extra days to really build up my momentum. So here's my list. 1. No more drinking. Okay, it's not like I drink that much, but I want one that's a little easy. 2. No more caffeine. That's right. I want one that's a big ass challenge also. So here we go. Caffeine and alcohol, you are out of here. Wednesday, January 4th, 2016, 4 p.m. Know who else didn't get rejuvenated over Christmas break? Charles. Actually, now that I think of it, there are a few others too. Amy and Marie both looked as if they needed at least another extra week. But Charles looks like he has lost his reason for living. I'm super hard on him, mainly because his job title says counselor, and I want him to be a real counselor for my students. But since our system thinks that someone in a position like counselor might have extra time on their hands, they dump a lot of other things in their laps that have nothing to do with the social emotional well being of students. If I didn't know better, I would have thought Charles had spent his whole winter break at school in his office. And when I walked in today, I swear he looked as if he had been crying. The state has made some changes in their testing systems for this year, and it seems as if Charles is in charge of training all of us and filing all the paperwork with the state that says we've been trained. In between sniffles, he says he's recovering from a cold. He says it also is his comprehensive evaluation year, and he is also going through a similar hell to mine. Probably a big difference for him is that he is in the innermost circle of hell, whereas I camp out in one of the outer circles. Charles' office is right next to Anita's, and Derek is 2 doors down. So he has a constant stream of teachers, administration, and support staff interrupting anything he's trying to do all day, every day. Today, I was not an interrupter, though. He had asked me to come see him. It would seem that Charles has been putting together counseling groups and wanted to implement them soon. And Lewis and another kiddo in my 7th hour, Dakota, both had made the cut. I can't even be cheeky with him today about the other kids that didn't make the cut because I can see that these groups were formed before he received his new testing assignment, and the bags under his eyes, along with the dried tears from his cold, tell me he is desperately trying to figure out how he's going to do it all. I closed the door and looked at the list and asked him how I could help. He asked if I could be flexible in my scheduling. And I, of course, said I could. It is amazing how one tiny little thing like schedule flexibility can make a counselor's day. I thought he might start crying for real for all new reasons in front of me, so I hightailed it out of there. No need to have a kumbaya moment. I enjoy being his critic, so I have a target to rail against when we can't get kids the services they need. Yes, it is unfair, but we all have our coping strategies. I can barely handle my own mid year crises without letting Charles suck me into his. However, I did walk away thinking that maybe I should check in on Marie and Amy. Thursday, January 5th, 2016, 4 p.m. I'm in hell. It starts with a pounding headache and ends with the inability to think clearly. I knew as I stood in front of the staff bathroom mirror at 7 a.m. this morning that 1. No, I was not sick. And two, yes, I had completely forgotten to put any makeup on before I left my apartment this morning. Me with no makeup is pretty sickly looking. So I made the decision that despite feeling fine, other than needing to nap about 15 minutes out of every hour under my desk throughout the day, I would fake sick my way through the day. And it worked. A little too well. I am extremely insulted by the sheer number of people who asked me if I was sick before I even had a chance to tell them I was. I know my eyelashes and eyebrows are translucent without touch up, but what in the hell happened to manners? From this day forward, I will never ask someone if they are feeling well again, because they too may be missing makeup. I know what's happening here. The caffeine demons are trying to tempt me and shame me, but I will not give up my resolve. I will not drink caffeine. Jesus, I think I just fell asleep at a stoplight. Friday, January 6th, 2017. Still weird. And yes, I have written 2016 on a couple of entries, but I'm too fatigued to change them now. 4 p.m. I received an email today from Derek that he will be coming in on February 14th to do my eval. I get to pick a couple of times for him to choose from to come in. That seems like a very long time away. I should probably put it in my calendar. He also wants my lesson plan no less than a week in advance, which shouldn't be a problem since all lesson plans should be turned in every Monday to Anita's box. And he would just get it from there. I would be lying if I said I don't get a smidge of satisfaction when policies are put into place and then can't be enforced. I actually make lesson plans. I just refuse to put them in Anita's box on Mondays. Know why? Because she, or Derek for that matter, never read them. Know how I know they never read them? Because they don't have a clue who has turned them in or what any of us are doing at any given time. And I know they don't have time. But I'm not mad about this. I actually understand quite well what they are doing. Many times I've assigned something to make students be accountable for something, and then I did not bother to even look at it. For example, when I had them take their exit slips home and get parent signatures after they explained to said parents the difference between figurative language and literal language. I digress here, but I was so exasperated with students saying they were literally starving or literally feeling someone else's pain. No, no, you were not. So I did a few lessons on figurative language and worked this little pet peeve into them. When I got those slips back, I put them in the trash and never looked at them because I just want to know that they took time to think about the difference between figurative and literal. And hopefully, they will feel as irritated as I do the next time they hear someone say they literally died. And administration just wants to know we're making lesson plans. I get it. But not turning them in is my passive aggressive way of letting them know that I do not want to be treated like an eighth grader and given busy work. Trust me. Trust that I am doing my best. If you have reason not to, then let's have that conversation. Otherwise, let's assume everyone is making lesson plans, especially if you're not reading them anyway. Also, I ran into Amy at the copier. I was right when I said she needed more time off. She is so damn cute with her little belly sticking out. Every part of me expanded when I was pregnant, and nothing about it was cute. However, she's been having blood pressure spikes, and as a result, is getting to see her doctor twice as much as we had originally calculated back in September. She's not going to have enough sick days to cover her for long after she has the baby. Her mom and aunt are trying to see if they can set up a babysitting plan within her family to care for her baby when she has to return to work. I'm guessing that her high blood pressure is related to the stress of the constant worry about using her precious sick days and trying to accept that she will have to leave this precious little nugget before she has even had time to heal with anyone other than herself. A few years ago, one of the secretaries at the board office had cancer and she was out for 9 months. Just as an aside here, it is crazy how many people who work in education get cancer. Anyway, she had worked for our district for almost 30 years, and everyone got together and they allowed us to do a one time donation of sick days so she didn't have to worry about money and missing work and dying. It was a huge success because for me, it is way easier to give away one of my sick days than to come up with $50 to stuff in an envelope for a collection. Apparently, everyone else thought so too, since we covered her for that 9 months and then some. I should ask HR if we could do something like that for Amy.